Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin and DK in the background here on a special Monday night evening. If you're on the East Coast, it's almost Tuesday morning, but we are here, of course, to break down the Ravens' awesome win, 5th win in a row. Of course, the Baltimore Ravens, yeah, that's right, end up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 41-31 in a convincing victory. But before we get into this game, of course, we got to shout out our awesome sponsors. So Glenn, I know we got BetOnline sponsoring us. What's going on over there, man?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Has every stat, every matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Has the largest catalog of everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, and even political prop bets. When the games are over, head over to the online casino, get in a hand of blackjack, some poker, or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Let's go. Sorry for my yawn. Don't let it confuse you for lack of excitement. Like I said, the Baltimore Ravens win in a convincing fashion. My goodness, this offense is just out of this world. Look, Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdowns. He threw it to everybody. He threw it to Derrick Henry, threw it to Bateman, threw it to Mark twice. Justice Hill got in on the party. Talk to me. Let's start there, Glenn. Let's talk about this performance by Lamar Jackson, man. What else can this guy do?
Oh, man. I mean, again, perfect.
Uh-oh. DK, do you hear that too?
What? What's going on?
You've been taken over by the Russians and you're now robotic. Well, as Glenn fixes that, I mean, look, Lamar Jackson, just to give you some quick stats, 17 for 22, 281 yards, a hair under 13 yards per completion, and 5 touchdowns, passer rating of 158. I mean, you talk about efficiency. How many guys can throw 5 touchdowns in under 300 yards?
The dude is an absolute freak. Do I sound better?
Much better, yes.
Yeah, the dude is an absolute freak show. His dominance on Monday Night Football continues. At this point, Jimbo, 8 contests. He now has 20 passing touchdowns on Monday Night Football and 0 interceptions in his career.
Insane.
I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable what this guy's doing. And like you said, he had just as many touchdowns as he had incompletions, Jimbo, with 5. I mean, unbelievable. 281 yards. He continues to get it done, even from a yardage standpoint through the air. And then, just to put the cherry on top, he adds 9 carries for 52 yards on the ground. It's sensational. I mean, what else can you say? I think I texted my brother-in-law unstoppable, because that's what this offense looks like. It's like Bill Belichick said during the Manning. I was watching the Manning cast.
Okay.
The only team that can stop Baltimore is Baltimore. And we're going to get into those penalties and some of the plays that we saw that didn't go so well. But for the most part, I mean, there's not a lot to complain about here, Jimbo. Lamar Jackson was absolutely phenomenal. Once again, Yecall says, great win for the Ravens. Not happy about the garbage time Bucs touchdowns, but a win is a win. But what voodoo Satan magic does Pittsburgh have? Can they lose, please?
No, I know. Oh my gosh, freaking Pittsburgh, dude. Yeah, Yecall says great win for the Ravens.
I just said this, Jimmy. I just read this.
Are you serious?
Stop reading. Focus in, Jimbo. Focus in, okay?
All right. No, but I wanted to say something about the penalties really quick, Glenn. I gotta, because this is hilarious.
Go ahead.
Dude, Falele finally gets his hands on a guy downfield, and he gets a holding penalty. How funny was that, man? He finally gets his hands on a guy. Yeah. And a bogus holding penalty if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. Like, that was one of the worst calls I've ever seen. And it took away a highlight. I mean, he jumps over a guy, walks into the end zone. It was unbelievable. The worst holding call in history. The guy's momentum was taking him out of the play. The guy, he was accepting, block me, and everyone else go tackle Lamar, and they gave him the hold. It was silly.
That's just crazy, man. I felt bad for the guy, right?
Yeah, felt bad for him. And really, look, the offensive line, it looked really bad in that first drive. Because, look, people forget, we were 1st and 10 on their 39. We were moving the ball. And then we go backwards on consecutive plays. And it looked like, what is going on? Why does it look like this? And they go up 10-0. And then 34 straight, Jimbo. I mean, 34 straight. Derrick Henry, once again. Too many times I saw him on the bench at certain points towards the end of the first half and the start of the second half. But nonetheless, 15 carries, 169 yards, another monster gain with the 81-yard touchdown. How surprised were you he was caught on that one, Jimbo?
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that one. But the dude that caught him, first of all, incredible speed, also an incredible. He probably got named geometry. Because the angle was absolutely
I think he's
perfect.
surprised Derrick Henry. If you look at the replay, he looked like, whoa, there you are.
Yep. I mean, dude, he made up ground quick and in a hurry. But on top of that, I mean, the angle was perfect, right? So yeah, I was surprised by that because Derrick was hitting some serious speed there. We saw afterward. I think he was flirting with 22 miles an hour. So yeah, just absolutely outrageous. I was pretty surprised. But yeah, as we keep going through these stats, I think it's probably best. Why don't we bring Cole in and we can walk through some things together? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only Cole Jackson with us. Cole,
what
how
up,
you doing,
boys?
man?
How's it going?
Going good.
Going well.
That's a weird. Anyone else feel weird?
Like Cole, you might be on the wrong mic.
Yeah, we got some weird feedback here.
Yeah, double check. It's okay though. Take your time. We have technical difficulties all the time, and I double read the super chats. So it's
check
all right.
One, check one, check. Mic check.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
There we go. Oh, I like it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You like the mic check? Was the mic check good, boys?
There you go.
Sound like a pro out here.
I just feel like I feel weird. Like I feel like I want to love that we got a Jackson 5 and that defensive performance just bigger buzz-kill than Buzz Killington. Like just kills it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I liked what I saw when you had the 34-0 run after they go up 10-0. It looked like they had some things figured out. Of course, Marlon playing hero ball helped, but yeah, the garbage touchdowns. Are you? Let me. I'm going to ask you, Jimbo. What's your how much wiggle room or leeway, I guess, are you giving Zach Orr at this point? Or are you kind of like, man, did he pick the wrong guy? Because he made a couple picks. He decided to go with the young guy in Zach Orr. Did he make the wrong call here?
I'm not ready to jump ship.
Okay.
I think some of it was execution. I feel like there was some blown. I mean, we saw the late blown stuff, but there seemed to be some blown stuff. It'll be interesting to go back and get a deeper dive into this thing. But I think there are things that were execution on the field, not just Zach's, lack of ability to make the calls or just being fooled by the offensive coordinator over there. I think there was some lack of execution stuff that turned to big plays. But Glenn and Cole, who said Marlon Humphrey doesn't have ball skills, bro?
Well, he does when they're in front of him. When the ball's in front of him, he's got skills, right? It's just when it's over his head, he struggles, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Marlon. And that second one, bro, to keep that off the ground.
That's what I'm saying. The one hand. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Hopefully he's all right and we get a speedy recovery. Have we heard anything? I've been trying to keep tabs on Twitter. Have we heard anything?
I haven't heard yet.
Seen anything, Cole, about the knee?
No, didn't see anything.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But no, Glenn, I'm not ready to jump ship yet. I don't know what you guys are feeling.
Cole, are you done? Are you? What's your thoughts on Zach Orr before we start celebrating more of this offense?
No, I mean, I haven't. I did that video after the Bengals game because a lot of that really was execution stuff. Like, I mean, the late second quarter Jamar Chase touchdown was Marlon Humphrey cover 3, just literally didn't drop into his zone, right? So, I mean, if you got to look at what the play call is and what the strategy of the play call is and how the play call, like, you got to break down every individual play to really understand, was it a bad play call? Was it bad execution? My fundamental issue with Zach Orr has been the scheme in the middle of the field. And it kind of, that's where I've noticed it tonight. The one dump off to Rachaad White is second, third down conversion. They have Roquan in man coverage on the running back, but they have him mug the A gap. So any flat to the side of the trips is him running through bodies, right? And so it's just going to be an easy dump off if they read that. And so they like to mug the linebackers in the A gap and then ask him to drop into these either really deep zones where, because they used to run zone, like that zone coverage out of nickel. Now they're running so much of it out of dime, but Kyle Hamilton's moving everywhere. So as much as people are saying Roquan's playing bad, they're also asking way more of him in the middle of the field. So again, you have to look at each play, and is it the scheme that they're, or is it the execution? And there's a little bit of both. Like, I mean, there was 4 drop picks and at the end of this game. So I mean, like, even that one that kind of deflected up that landed right in front of Wiggins. So there's all sorts of things going on with player execution issues. And it's one of these complicated things where you can't really just point to one thing and just be like, it's all Zach Orr, it's all the players. And I mean, it's just one of those things where I think both things are true. I'm seeing the fundamental issue I'm seeing with Zach Orr is the scheme in the middle of the field makes it really soft. I'm not sure that really plays into, that Mike Evans touchdown. That didn't look like a scheme 2 thing. They schemed up a really nice route combination against cover 2. And, that's not on scheme to me. So I try and look at each thing individually. I'm seeing some things I don't like from Zach Orr, but I'm also seeing some things I don't like from the defensive players as well. The biggest fundamental issue for me on the player side is this pass rush is stagnant, and the Bucs were I think they were second in pass blocking efficiency. So I mean, this is a good O-line. They got Graham Barton back, their rookie center, and they didn't get a lot done until they had a couple sacks towards the end, but there were just straight up plays where Baker was back there making a hot pocket, sending a couple tweets, and then slinging the ball out. In fact, Marlon Humphreys in the red zone was almost because he had too much time. Like, he almost had too much time. Marlon Humphrey came off his man and took that pick, right?
He pump faked it like 80 times.
I think the pass rush is the biggest concern for me. I know everyone's focused on the secondary. You can go get Marshawn Lattimore. You can ask them to cover for 8 seconds, but it's not going to matter if your pass rush doesn't get home. Someone's going to get open.
Yeah. Looks like it might be a trade deadline target for sure. But I do want to switch gears a little bit, go back to the offensive side of the ball and talk a little bit of Rashad Bateman. 4 catches, 121 yards, has the 59-yard bomb where he gets behind the defense. It was nice to see, Jimbo, finally a long pass that was air yards, not yak. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see, perfectly thrown ball. Rashad gets behind the defense. And also, quick shout out to CJ Later for a 1-month membership.
Let's go.
He's unstoppable. But yeah, what'd you see on that one, Jimbo? How nice was to see that that deep ball connect finally?
So awesome. I feel like Bateman's face was just relief, right?
Yeah.
Like, finally, the effort was paid off.
Yep.
Lamar made the throw, the execution worked, the timing worked, everything was excellent. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. One of my favorite plays of the game, and exciting, man. It's really exciting to see Bateman coming around because he just adds something so different to the offense in comparison to the other tools we have in the tool set. And just like you said, just like CJ Later said, 8 is definitely the MVP right now. I don't think it's a question. Shout out to CJ Later for sure. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to see. The other thing I got to say too, let's see. Ryan Kelly says, just want to express how effing lucky we are to be Ravens fans.
Yes.
The Lord has risen again, and his name is Lamar Jackson. Bait coming on, Mark heating up. Wish my guy Ardarius could catch. Got the sack though.
Dude, we're out here talking up Ardarius' ball skills and consistently back-to-back weeks. One hits him in the face, the other zips right through his hands. What a catch by that tight end, by the way. How does he make the adjustment and hang on to the ball and take a pop from Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah. But Glenn, really quick though, speaking of exciting developments on offense, how excited were you to see Mark Andrews come alive, dude?
Dude, Mark Andrews, 2 touchdowns on the day, 4 catches, 41 yards. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's back to himself. And what I like to see, I mean, look, there wasn't a lot of incompletions out there. It wasn't like the ball was, getting slung around and for low completion. No, you see 4 targets, 4 catches, 3 targets, 3 catches. I love the efficiency and Mark Andrews being back, man. I don't know how defensive coordinators are going to scheme up against this offense when you got so many guys hitting on all cylinders. Hey, Cole, I want to know your take on Justice Hill. Early in the game, it looked like he kind of missed. I know he's been so good as a pass blocker, kind of whiffed and went right between the 2 guys on the first drive. But outside of that, I mean, looked like he had another Justice Hill game. What kind of how does he keep doing it? Like, it seems like we went to that screen pass where we just dump it off to the right side 3 times in a row, and he just got 20 yards every time.
Yeah, I think there in the second half, I think Harbaugh had Justice Hill in his fantasy matchup, and his opponent had Derrick Henry because he didn't want to go there. No, they got into kind of. I mean, it was kind of weird when because they went back 30 yards on that drive and penalties, right?
Yeah.
And then they had that big play that got them into field goal range, but it was kind of a weird setup to not have Derrick Henry on the field right away, but they clearly wanted to get the ball into Hill's hands. And I mean, all the Bucs did all night was play zone, right? So they played zone, and the Ravens did a good job with those screens of just creating numbers, of having, motioning a guy out to the wide side where they either had, a 2x2 out there, 2x1, or they had trips with 3. And they were just trying to create those opportunities to get a pass catcher out there where they're going to have, 3 blockers on 3 defenders because they're in zone. And so I think that's what, I know people online were kind of like, why do we keep doing this? And like, even on the Zay Flowers fumble, that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to create that numbers game with the screen game, work the ball outside because they were stacking the box. So I really like that kind of approach. I know everyone was frustrated about the fumble, but overall Hill's just playing well, and he's going to keep getting those opportunities because he keeps making plays. Like that 18-yard catch he had was a big one, right? It got them into a good position and gives, Justin Tucker an easier look, and, they just keep putting up points.
And he had a couple plays. Cole, I'm sure you saw. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but a couple big plays. I think it was one of Mark's touchdowns or the big reception to Mark in the first half. Justice was doing good picking up the blitz as well. Man, he always gets the guy off his feet, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had a couple cut blocks too, some really nasty ones. So I think it's hard to break down pass protection when you don't have the end zone angle, but I'm really interested in looking at that delayed blitz sack they had. It looked like there was a confusion between McCary and Hill. So I mean, it looked like Hill, but it's hard to say. But overall, Hill has been just dynamite this year in pass pro. Like it's been fun to watch.
100%. Manny says garbage time wasn't ideal and makes the situation look worse, but this defense has to get better. I think we all agree with that. Chris Horton allowed only 2 onside kicks this year. Only.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The only.
Right.
The entire league.
Right. We're the only team that's given up. That's succumbed to the onside kick.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Yeah.
Got to get Marlon Humphrey on the hands team. Take Zay off there.
Yeah, for real. But I mean,
seriously though, Zay needs to come off the hands team because they're just bumping it up, and he's shorter than I am.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a Charlie Kohler out there. It seems like a pretty tough guy, but
or get him a stool. One of the two, either tight end or get him a stool.
It does not make any damn sense though when there's no element of surprise anymore. That's completely been eliminated from the league, and yet still we're giving up onside kick recoveries.
Dude, we get Gunner out there to teach him a thing or two, Glenn.
I guess so. But
like, attack the ball, dude. Come on.
People forget it. I mean, I know it's not easy catching a bouncing football, but come on, man. Come on. Let's see. Isaac says, but the flags were out of control. They were absolutely insane. Like, the flags were unbelievable. It was never ending. It seemed like every play was a flag for about a 10-minute stretch. It was
every single outside of tackle run was the holding call. It was absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it was almost tough to watch at times. And some of the calls were, I mean, that you talked about the Faalele one was unbelievably bad. I don't know how they make that call. Tone the Virgos is another great win. Got to work on the penalties, even though there were 2 or 3 I think shouldn't have been called. Yeah. I can imagine it's going to be a long practice week for the onside kick. It better be.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Chris Horton is going to be getting an earful.
I mean, look, man, they got to be better. No doubt about it. But, hey, I want to ask your guys' take. Look, Roquan Smith, he was getting there with some force. He had 18 total tackles, including 11 solo. And I don't know what at times I felt like, man, it looks like the old Roquan. But at other times I said, I don't know. He looks like I don't know what it is. So what are you guys seeing from Roquan?
I'm struggling with this one. This is one of those where it's a little bit of both. It's a little, I think he's being asked to do a lot. And there's a little bit of, he just doesn't look the same. He looks slower, which is kind of strange with the type of player he is. But again, I mean, he does get asked to cover that entire middle of the field way too often. And just, I don't think it's the best approach. It's, again, that's what I think is the fundamental scheme issue from Zach Orr. So I think he's in a bad operating environment, but, still good in run D. I think that's important, but his pass defense has undoubtedly his coverage skills taken a step back. Like, there's no doubt about that. So even when you factor in some of those things, like being asked to do more, and it's just makes you wonder if it's just I don't know, is it just, he's overwhelmed by his assignment and that's what's slowing down his game? That's really the only thing I can think of, because I'm not sure a player just regresses like that when they're in the prime years of their career. Right?
I was going to say, it's crazy to think, isn't Roquan younger than Lamar?
I don't know if he's younger than Lamar.
Isn't he a year younger than Lamar Jackson?
He is.
I know he's young.
27, so
it's crazy, dude. I think they're the same age.
Yeah, so the point is that,
but it seems like Roquan's been in the league
like a million. Yeah, he's an old soul, right? Like,
that's right.
You know what I mean? He's an old soul. He certainly was probably one of those kids that, like, at 14 looked like he was 20.
Oh, he was shaving at 14.
You know what I'm saying? And now that he's 27, he's, so yeah, right, from 14 to 27, you already had the face probably at 14 is my guess. So
you're not just regressing at this age.
That's
right?
what I was gonna say.
So
that's my point exactly, right? To your point, Cole. It seems like he's probably in a disadvantageous situation, and maybe being asked to do a little too much is what it could come down to. Travis says the truth. Says, I think all our defense's woes would go away with someone like Crosby.
Yeah, that would help. I don't think Vegas is willing to give him up.
I don't even know if he'd want to. I mean, not that he has a choice, but I don't even think he'd want to leave. And he's 3 years younger than Lamar. Crazy.
No, he had those comments last week about rebuilding. He didn't seem down with the plan. So I'm trading it all for Max Crosby.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. Same with Myles Garrett, although that makes it even less likely being in the division and probably
everybody's calling about Za'Darius, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, that would look, the Browns should be in sell-all mode, but I don't know how enthusiastic they're going to be about trading with the Ravens.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, I've been saying that for weeks here. Like, why not? Where are they going?
And super cheap, like in terms of cap space, you don't really need to do anything to fit him. He'd be like 1.2 million.
Yeah, man, it makes a lot of sense. And like you said, that pass rush at most of the game was looking pretty stagnant, except for my guy, Jimbo, which we're going to get into.
So that was funny, Glenn, because the previous super chat, you kind of skipped over the most important part.
Did I?
In the emoji, he had the Baconator emoji.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see it, dude. Yes, yeah.
I was waiting for you to get into it.
Gets there again. I think he should have got a half sack on that one from Michael Pierce, dude. I think it was, or Derrick. Who was it at the end? He got an arm in there. He got an arm in there. They got to give him a half. But yeah, shout out to Owe for continuing his march.
Dude, talk about his pursuit though. That tackle. I mean,
look, I'll be honest. That holding call they got him on, they called on the tackle on him earlier in the game. He looked like he was fine being blocked on that play. I didn't like the lack of activity on that play.
Right.
And I think the Ravens really got bailed out by that holding call. I'll take it, but I think that was a bit of a bailout. Antonio Smith says, how do you even fix this defense? Very concerned. Cole, is there a fix for this defense that's not like landing Max Crosby or something incredible like that?
I think one of the biggest things I'd try, and I thought they'd do it tonight, is try a little bit more nickel, and try and see what that can look like, using Kyle Hamilton and more of the rover roll from the safety spot or in the slot, getting him away from. It's not so much a Kyle Hamilton problem. It's just I think the idea that Zach Orr has is we're going to play dime and we're going to move Hamilton everywhere, which obviously makes sense. But they're sacrificing the middle of the field in order to do that. Then there's going to be the executional issues. Guys are going to win on the outside, like we saw with Terry McLaurin against Brandon Stevens on some of the tightest coverage you're going to see. Like 0 yard separation, but just really nice catches. Stevens head not back around. That stuff's going to just naturally happen in a football game. I think the fundamental issue is that middle of the field. I would try and, use some more of that nickel, use Trent Simpson in the queen role, get back to blitzing your safeties. They don't really use those disguised coverage looks anymore where they kind of, show multiple guys at the line of scrimmage, and then they're dropping out other guys, so I'd like to see them get back to a little bit more of that deception and trying to disguise their coverages rather than just playing a little bit more straight up out of dime.
Hey,
Yeah.
DK, looks like we might. Did 2 people open a stream? I just saw somebody in the chat saying that they were sitting in the other stream. We've got a. It's still active. I'm looking at.
No, I only have one open.
I'm looking at it right now. Scheduled for 11:23. Just letting you know, I'm on YouTube. But hopefully, yeah. See, Dylan says you have 2 streams going.
It's got to be a YouTube issue then. We only have one open on StreamYard.
I don't know.
Well,
no. But anyway,
we got 503 people that figured it out.
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, okay, all right. Well, hopefully those who are over there can find their way over.
I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't want to delete the room we're in.
No. We just got to make sure we're only. I get hindsight. Emo says we don't have a pass rush. We need Brian Burns. Yeah, it'd be nice to get Brian Burns from New York, but isn't his contract? Didn't he just sign like a monster deal? Wouldn't that be kind of? I don't know if we want to take on a guy with a huge contract. Although, like, I don't know. I guess a rental would be okay, but I don't think Brian Burns wouldn't be anything sort of a rental. At what
point? And at what point do we need to? I'm gonna try and say something to make myself sound cool, but I'm not really that cool. Like, at what point do we go 10 toes down, right? And we're like, okay, this is our window. Like, we need to do something. You know what I mean? Even if we do reach or overspend, whatever the thing, whatever phrase you want to call it is, but we need to do something, right?
I think you can't go into the playoffs going, we're gonna let Mahomes or Josh Allen potentially sit behind a wall of linemen and dance until they get a guy wide open.
Right. You think it's bad now. I mean, we all know how it goes with Mahomes in the playoffs. They literally don't get holding penalties.
Right.
So we need guys to really win their matchups up front.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. I think that's the missing link on this team right now, and I hope that maybe a guy like Jadeveon is the answer. But Don C says, man, they had 2 hit hunting leading with the helmet hits on. Yeah, those guys, that Lamar
ridiculous.
Took a couple big-time shots. I was impressed with his toughness. He gets up smiling off after both. But, man, he took some shots, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
man, how about Cade Otton looking like he just went 12 rounds in a prize fight? Like, every time he touched the ball, he just got hammered.
He did, but he was making some tough grabs out there, man.
Mm-hmm. No, but yeah, to that point, I mean, yeah, Lamar took some massive hits there, and glad he's okay. Glad, especially the ones in the pocket. Excuse me, but yeah, there was a few of them. Now I gotta say something. I know we've been banging on the special teams, but one good thing is that I think Justin Tucker's back.
Oh yeah, he's back.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he hit the 52-yarder, and there was a little win there too.
Oh, and he buried that thing.
Yeah, it was true. It was absolutely true. Devin McShane says, "I'm so late. I don't know if it's been mentioned already, but I know Glenn exploded on the Owe sack."
Oh, for sure. Immediately to my feet, screaming with excitement, and then immediately to my phone to confirm that the stat and the credit was proper given to Owe, for recording purposes here. But yeah, I mean, look, this is clearly an offense that I think is championship level. There's going to be moments where they're going to look really bad. We saw that twice today with Zay running into the one snap and then the backwards pass to Zay that could have very potentially ended up in a touchdown if we don't kind of get a little fortunate there.
Yeah.
But I think defense there, I don't see a championship level defense there yet. And especially not when you're going up against the elites. They got to do something. Because, man, I'm nervous about this pass rush here, Jimbo. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now let me ask you guys this. Cole, first of all, I want to get to the offensive line to get your thoughts, but I want to make a comparison here. At the beginning of the season, everybody was screaming up and down, concerned about the offensive line, right? And we were preaching patience, this, that, and the other. Now, seemingly, they've come along every game to a certain extent. The defense has kind of had peaks and valleys. It hasn't been a consistent progression. Is it possible that this is just a result of a young DC and some missing pieces, but we have the guys in house? Do we absolutely need to make moves at the trade deadline?
I think they need to add a pass rusher. I do. I don't think they need to add a corner. I'm not as worried about. I kind of see the needs if I had to rank them, and edge rusher, interior rusher. I don't really care. Just pass rusher in general would be number one. Number two, I'd have as I'm gonna say a free safety, but I like a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, a guy that can kind of move around, similar to Kyle. I think would really help them stabilize what they want to do in the middle of the field and give them another option versus Eddie Jackson. So it's really replacing Eddie Jackson as that kind of split safety. So that'd be my second, and then a third. It really depends on Arthur Millett's health. I'm just not sure what happened with that step back he had with the injury, but a slot corner. And then the other thing that I think they'll think about is just some depth at wide receiver, because I mean, when Zay went down, it was kind of like, okay, Zay's down, still got Bateman, but then you're seeing Tylan Wallace play snaps with Zay out, right? And it's like that wide receiver picture doesn't matter right now as much because we're playing so much 12 personnel and you're only using two wide receivers so often. So it's Zay and Bateman. You're good there. I think we all feel good about that. But if one goes down, who's stepping in? So what's that kind of depth option? So I know you asked about the defense, but that's just kind of like priorities in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking pass rusher is my top priority.
All right, fair enough. Glenn, you there? Is there any way that you believe that this defense can make leaps and bounds and improvement as the season progresses, or is it really a need for, some personnel? You kind of with Cole here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can definitely get a lot better. I think they have the talent to be playing a lot better than what it looks right now, which is 400 to 500 yards a game of all rendered, which tonight 481. They're better than that, but
yeah.
Are they good enough to get it done? I think they do need to add something to the group. And look, obviously they agree. They went out and got Unique Ngakoue off the street.
Yeah.
But obviously they don't think that what they had at least 2-3 weeks ago was enough. And so, yeah, be on the lookout. But I do think that there has to be a time where you're willing to maybe overspend to a degree, at least to your standard, compared to your standard, and go get a guy if you think he's the missing link. I think now is the time. Enough's enough. What's up,
Cole's multitasking here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, one of your chat was like, Cole's always staring at his phone. I'm like, well, I'm talking shit on Twitter. It's post game. Y'all know me.
Yeah, it's true. RBA Raven fan says, I have my frustrations with Harves, but never have I watched him happily destroy his team in an unwinnable overtime game. Weird win, but it's a win.
Not sure.
I'm confused by the comment.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Unwinnable overtime game. Yeah, I don't know.
Follow up on that.
Maybe meant like when we actually won against the Bengals. Maybe he's talking about that game. I don't know. But I appreciate the viewership
and follow up on
generosity. Yeah, maybe we see some clarity there.
Oh, all right, Cole. We'll catch you soon, man. We appreciate you hopping on, dude.
Yeah, sorry for the roof. I can hear the little one screaming. Thanks, guys. Sorry for the early exit, but
no, that's all good, man. We appreciate it.
Let's connect. Let's get me back on here.
Yeah, because I want to talk online.
Yeah,
definitely. We'll talk soon.
Peace out, guys.
Right, cool.
See you, man. Don
I was just getting right around the corner to get to the line, dude.
Well, we talked a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get him on definitely in the future. He's got some important stuff to take care of. But Don C, with the continued generosity, and if you guys have not taken advantage of those memberships or consider getting them on your own, look at Dr. Uncle Bob, my guy.
Let's go.
Go check out what DK's doing over there. He's doing some awesome things. So check out if you're a member, and then also the behind the scenes stuff is pretty cool when we throw that stuff up there. Get a little glimpse. You get to hear some funny stories, some stuff. Glenn, Cam's birthday, the shoes, keeping it 100. Yeah. Cam's, ever since Dr. Uncle Bob has debuted the purple Chucks, undisputed, never lost. Okay. Undisputed, never lost for the Baltimore Ravens. Jimmy's hair is okay this time. It's just okay. Love you guys.
It's because it's probably shorter than he would like, knowing Bobby.
Yeah, dude. He likes a little more volume, a little more length.
I know.
You know.
Look, Glenn, let me tell you something really quick. I'm trying to figure out a haircut that makes me look my appropriate age.
You think
you know what I'm saying? I feel like this makes me look like younger than I am, and I don't want to look younger than I am.
I think you had a good thing going. I don't know why you thought you had to change it.
Dude, it just bothers me around the ears, dude. It just bothers me, man.
Is you think because the ears are too much?
Yeah, I don't know, man. When the hair's long, it gets scraggly, and it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, the work is a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. A lot of work.
Just get a hairpiece like me. Keep the hairpiece.
Just puts it on his end table.
You know what I'm saying? No, I have a little mannequin head.
You
Put
have
it right over
a
that.
wig tree.
Yeah, I have a wig tree. Exactly. It hangs on the back of my bedroom door.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
And it's beautiful. And I come out and I don't want to mess with it because it's looking all right now.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Don't hate. Yes, we have 2 streams. It was an accident.
Oh,
but we
DK already
tried to
fixed it.
fix it.
DK already fixed it.
Okay, because we're still getting chats saying you have 2 streams.
DK fixed it.
Okay. All right,
But
sorry about
only
the
one
inconvenience.
was opened here on StreamYard.
I don't know
It was
what
a
happened.
YouTube issue.
We're going to blame it on YouTube, even though it had 2 different titles. We're going to blame it on YouTube. Massey says, I'm pissed at Todd Bowles not sitting out starters and throwing flags with 6 minutes to go. Players got injured. Ravens D had checked out by then. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't necessarily like the timeouts at the end of the game.
Yeah.
The game was over. The only thing you're doing is providing more of an opportunity for injuries. And then, of course, meaningless stats, which a lot of, look, let's be honest, the entirety of the fourth quarter and probably more, the half of the third quarter was meaningless stats. The game was in hand. It was over.
How frustrated were bettors that whole fourth quarter?
Was what?
How frustrated were people that bet heavily on the whole fourth quarter?
Oh, they were probably like, I can't even turn it off because I gotta watch it. It's unbelievable. Death to Beta, you are 100% right. It's definitely Jimmy's fault.
How?
I don't know, but he's right. I know. I didn't create any streams, so it's definitely not my fault. I'm gonna be. I was the last one to get on. I was the late guy today. You know why? I had to put my wig back on. Because I'd taken it off. When Owe got that sack, I jumped up, it flew up, and he stuck to the ceiling.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, because he's not on camera, I'm just going to blame it on DK then.
All right, it's DK's fault.
Can't defend himself, dude. It's all
That's
DK's fault.
That's right. One stream at a time, DK.
Come on, DK. That was me. But I deleted it immediately. So it was DK's fault. He admits it. He admits it.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Jimbo, are you like, it's crazy to think we scored 41 points, yet they had 6 more first downs than us.
Ridiculous. It was a weird game in a lot of ways, Glenn. It was a weird game. I tell you what, really quickly, before we get to the Raven fan follow-up comment, it was a weird game in that, like, it was one of those things where they came out, hit us in the mouth early, and it was like, hold on to your britches now. We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? And then obviously we take back momentum and the lead of the game, but both sides was just so full of big plays.
Yeah.
Just you know what I mean? That it was a funky game, man. I felt like it felt like a college game to me.
At times, because particularly how guys were wide open. Like
wide open. There was a lot of broken plays.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It just felt like a college game to me. Anyway, you can throw that one back up if you want, DK. He said, so this was follow-up comment, Raven fans. So sorry, had a few. You and DK both, apparently. Bucs coach lost 1, maybe 2 star players in game out of reach, not overtime. I see what you're saying. Never watched a coach lose players because of pride.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Godwin thing is terrible. I don't understand who said, Mike, it's a good idea to play.
Sometimes coaches have to save players from themselves and their own toughness because
like
he had a hamstring
visibly
injury.
Limping. Stop. Like.
Yep. And then to go down like that, and it looked. I mean, look, you don't want to speculate, but I'm literally looking at his hamstring. It looked like it didn't look right. I'll say that. Yeah. And then Godwin leading the league in catching, throwing his guy into some tough areas when the game is out of hand and out of reach. Makes you wonder, like, and look, these guys are competitors, so I'm sure if you give them the question, do you want to play? They're always going to say yeah, but sometimes you got to protect them from themselves.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
DK is the best in the biz. There's no doubt about it. And it's not an opinion. It is written in the textbooks. It's in the encyclopedias. It's all facts, no doubt. Appreciate the generosity, Dr. Uncle Bob. I know he's having a blast right now. Right outside of the he's hearing the cheers from the from Pickles Pub, I can tell you.
There you go. Love it, man.
Yeah, this was a good night, but still got a lot of things to clean up, specifically on the defensive side. Penalties still a problem. 9 penalties, 85 yards, not good. Got to clean up the sloppy stuff on offense. Can't have those 2 plays, the the Zay fumble, and then I guess both were Zay.
Zay,
One
yeah.
bounce off his
Thanks, Zay.
helmet. Yeah,
Going
thanks
size
a
up.
lot.
Thanks, Zay.
They appreciate it. But other than that, another good win for the Ravens. They go on the road. Anytime you win on the road, it's a good win. They win by 10. They cover the spread. So shout out to the Ravens. We'll, of course, be back in just a couple days, Tuesday night. Hold on. That's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be back real quick unless something changes, and then we'll let you know. But we'll promise to only open one room this time.
That's it for us tonight, folks, or morning, wherever you may be. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.